Hi, I'm Bradford Boney.
Hey, I'm Anna Boney, and we moved to Tampa about 4 years ago. We have 3 kids, Bradford, who's 4, almost 5, Hampton, who's 3, and Mary Catherine, who's 1.
Hi, I'm Leonardia Alexander. I'm 17. I attend Chamberlain High School, and I live in Sulphur Springs.
Hi, my name's Nadra Marbra. I'm Leonardia's aunt, aka mother and caregiver, and I'm also the caregiver of 9 other siblings or kids. The reason Leonardia and her brothers and sisters had to live with me or move with me is because my sister has been on drugs for a little over 8 years. We didn't know until she actually delivered the second youngest on my floor, and Leonardia had to actually deliver her first child at the age of 12. Social services stepped in several times. They were in a hotel room for about 2 years on and off until they finally removed the kids from my sister's custody. I was originally supposed to get the 3 older ones. Leonardia begged me to get the 3 babies because there was no one else to get them. So she told me that she would be the greatest help in the world if I was to get her brother and sisters, the 3 smallest ones, which I did. So now I am the proud mother of 10 wonderful babies.
The event at the Kirby's house was like one of the most nerve-wracking times ever because I was so nervous about speaking in front of a group of people I did not know, but I was so excited because I knew that the outcome of the event was going to be like a mentor. I didn't care who it was, but I knew it was going to be someone I liked a lot. I was invited to come to the event because I was one of the kids who attended Young Life who were living in a household with only one parent and who had a 2.5 GPA or higher. So there was a handful of us who actually were invited to go and get mentors.
We got introduced to Urban Young Life through Russell at a party that Jed and Katie Kirby had at their house to introduce some of the Urban Young Life kids and some of their stories. And
I actually was not there, only Big Bradford was there.
thanks for that input. I got to attend, and it was really neat hearing all the stories of the high school students from Sulphur Springs and the impact Urban Young Life was making in their lives. And Russell spoke a little bit about the mentoring program. And so I signed up at the event to talk with Russell about becoming a mentor, and came back home and really told Anna that felt like we really had a heart for mentoring one of these high school students, and specifically Lady was put on my heart. And
Yeah,
it's
he
just
kept
really
coming
neat.
over and talking to him about Lady.
When we were there, we had to put on one side of the cardboard what our story was, like a little sentence about our story. And my story was, I am currently living with my aunt. She's the only adult, and there are 10 children in our house. On the other side, we were to put what we want, like out of life. What do we want to become? What do we want to achieve? And on the other side, I put that I wanted to be a child psychologist, because growing up with my little brother, he has not all the best behavior, but like I like taking the time out to like study him, and I want to know like what makes him tick, and I want to know what can like I do to help him. So he is like the inspiration behind the reason why I want to go and help like kids to know like their stories and how it can help them.
What really drew me to Lady that night was they were doing cardboard testimonies, and just her story of her and her family and what she's had to overcome in her life. It combined with her personality, which I really felt was a great fit with Anna and our family. It just really touched my heart, and I felt like, God really, tugged on our hearts about not only her story, but a lot of the stories that we hear about in Sulphur Springs, and how could we help?
You have to deal with gangs, and you can go on this street and it's pretty quiet, but 2 streets over it's a war. So whenever my kids want to leave out the house, it's always a worry. Second of all, you have to learn how to feed, cook, wake up every morning, check grades, check books, check homework for 10 babies.
Living in Sulphur Springs, I am faced with being put in a category that all African American teens will end up pregnant by the time they're 18 and have dropped out of school and will be working to support a child.
I think another fear of mine was going into Sulphur Springs. We'd never been there. And I remember the first time, Mary Catherine was, I think, a week old, maybe 2 weeks old. And Bradford was taking both the boys to go pick up Lady. They were gonna go to church, and then they were gonna swing by, and I was gonna get to say hi and meet her for the first time. And I remember praying the whole way just for safety and a smooth meeting, and I think it went good, but you were terrified.
I was just a little intimidated. I mean, it's just a community that I've never been in, and I mean, I know I'm a big guy and all, so you know that wasn't as much of the concern as much as maybe. No, I think that it was definitely different for us, and I think it's honest saying that. And you know, it's just been neat how that transformation has happened. I mean, without getting into, you know, that was a fear of ours that's definitely been quelled, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
What makes Leonardia different is because I call her my president of the United States. She's gonna be the next president of the United States. She's always striving to do better. She always wants to help. And granted, even though it's 10 of them, she always wants to adopt a kid for Christmas. And I'm like, we are poor. And she's always seeing the better side. She's like, no, we're not poor. I can name at least 3 people who don't have as much as we do. So, I mean, for her to be a teenager and wanting to always help and just help others that's less privileged than us, which we're not very privileged, but in her eyes we are. So that's great. She strives for the best. She gets to know all her teachers, and she definitely wants to go away for college. College is not an option. It's mandatory for her. So, and she just wants to come back, get her brothers and sisters, and I think that makes her unique altogether, because who wants to raise kids? She does. So that's what makes my baby unique.
I think it's really neat how both of our hearts sort of wrapped around the idea, or changed to a certain extent, to say, you know what?
We're not called to have a comfortable life.
Exactly.